Hello everybody and welcome to Creativity Time. I am hoping this is all working. If you watched last week, I had technical issues and I haven't been able to get that video onto YouTube because of those technical issues. Anyhow, doesn't really matter. I am here and I can see myself on the iPad, so yay, we are working. I am thrilled that you're here. I'm so excited to have some time to create and hopefully inspire you to do something creative as well, whether it's today or over the weekend. If you are in Australia, we do have a public holiday tomorrow, so that might be a perfect time to create and maybe make something in the memory of our dear late Queen. I did watch the funeral, not all the way because the last part started at 1 a.m. our time, so that was a little too late for me, but the kids and I did sit and watch the funeral service in London and the beginning of her journey to Windsor. Anyhow, that's really not the point today. Today I will be crafting using the Splendid Day Suite. So let's flip to the table and take a look at the suite. This is a gorgeous suite and it's from the, let's see if I can get it right, July to December mini catalogue from Stampin' Up. I am an Independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so if you are in Australia and don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to send you a catalogue. Just let me know that you'd like one, either in the comments or get in touch with me through any social media platform. And I don't remember what page this is on. Let's see. It's on page 65. And here's the beautiful suite. So many pretty colors. I love the pastel-y colors that they've put together for this suite, and what I really love is the designer series paper. So let's go through. We have the designer series paper and it's a specialty one. So that means that it's got foiling and each sheet is a different color. So this is the is it crumb cake or Sahara sand? Sahara sand. And then it's matte Sahara sand on the back with a different design. So that's the Sahara sand one. There's also soft sea foam. I think we'll use a bit of that today. Then there's this one, which is copper. And on the back, I would say this is, well, actually it doesn't say, but I would say it's more like not Coastal Cabana, what's that color? CCC. Oh, Calypso Coral. Getting my colors all mixed up. There's this beautiful one. I don't even know what color this is. Doesn't matter. It's so pretty. And then it's got this pretty background. And let's see, have we done all of them? Oh, there is a purple one, which I've used up most of it because it's so pretty. This is Fresh Freesia. This has definitely been my favorite. Anyhow, I did think we'll use that one. That's the designer series paper. There is the stamp set, of course, some beautiful imagery and coordinating dies. And then the suite, there's also an open trinket embellishment and some beautiful, I've got to say this ribbon is stunning. Beautiful, beautiful ribbon. It's called seam binding and it's in soft sea foam. So pretty. Okay, so let's create something. I'm going to start with this piece, and this is Pool Party, apparently. I thought it was soft sea foam, but this is Pool Party, and the other one, this one is the soft sea foam, just in case you were wondering. And my lights seem to, oh, no, I don't know if that's any better. Anyhow, and if you see, there's a ladybird hiding in there. Isn't that fun? Okay, so I'm going to start with a Pool Party base. And the way I create my card bases is score once, cut once, and then I've got 2 card bases. So I like my card fronts to be primarily portrait mode with the top folding. So that means I'm going to score at 14.85 and then cut in half at 10.5. I'm sorry for those who are in the States and Canada. I can't remember the equivalent off the top of my head. And then I'm going to burnish that fold straight away. Just makes the card sit flatter. And the reason why I like top folding is because growing up we had horizontal blinds, and at Christmas time it drove me crazy when a beautiful portrait mode Christmas card had the fold on the side and you'd hang it on the blinds, and or if you hang it across the string, it's sideways. So this way I get the portrait mode but also get the correct orientation. So we're going to use the DSP as a card front, and my favorite sizing for that is 10 centimeters. That's my go-to size, 10 by 14.35. Which is there. Pretty. Do we want that side? No, I definitely want this side. That's our card base all ready to unravel. And what I'm going to do is adhere that down because I know that that's where I want it. And that way I am not losing bits. Okay, and now let's stamp and decorate. And I was going to use the greenery. And let's see, let's take this one and this one. And so there's these, I guess, filler stamps, if you would like to call them that, but they don't line up perfectly. They're supposed to be a little bit organic and I don't know what the other word is. Organic's probably the best word for it. So don't stress if yours don't line up. But we're going to grab some basic white. Actually, I'm really running low on basic white. I've used it all up at my retreat. Got scraps, but some of them are not wide enough for, I need to place an order. I see people joining in. Let me know where you're joining in from. I'd love to hear. Okay, so we're going to stamp that in. Going to do the outline in Orchid Oasis. Hello, Helen. How are you? Pretty. And I'm going with purples and pinks. So Orchid Oasis. And then I'm going to stamp the filler, if you please. Hi Felicity, in that's Fresh Freesia. And you can see it's not lining up, but it's not supposed to. I'm just kind of positioning it vaguely where I would like it. And there, except that was too strong for my liking. So I'm going to start that again because every piece of cardstock has two sides. This is where I should have used the grid paper. So I'm going to stamp that again, and I re-inked my ink pad and it's just that little bit too juicy. So when that happens for you, or when the ink pads are brand new, you take the edge of your block. So the Stampin' Up blocks have a very smooth curve, so it's very safe to do this. If you have a different brand of block or the kit blocks, they're very sharp edges, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. So you take, you could use your bone folder, but the bone folder then stains. So I like using a block. So you just push the ink to the side and then you just wipe off the excess. There we go. And you'll find less ink onto your stamp, so it's a better imprint. There we go. See how that is much better? I'll just show you the other side. You lose, this is a distinctive stamp set. So you lose a little bit of that distinctive nature when the ink is too juicy. And that happens when you re-ink things, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just the nature of it. And actually it might do this one in the same way. So remember, they're not supposed to line up. It's supposed to have this organic nature to it. And then I'm going to do another in a different color. I'm just going to clean my stamps. So that the dark outline was Orchid Oasis, which is one of the new in colors. And then the filler, I used Fresh Freesia, which is last year's in color. I'm just going to close my ink pads because I will get ink on my fingers. And let's see, I want a pink. Ooh. Let's go with Sweet Sorbet, once again, in color. So I'm going to go the outline in Sweet Sorbet. Stamp it there. We're going to die cut these out, so it doesn't really matter where. And I know Sweet Sorbet is a bit of a red, but it's a reddy pink. And then I'm going to use Polished Pink. I've picked colors from the two different ink color family. And I'm going to do the ink trick again with the Polished Pink. And by moving the ink away like I just did, you are not wasting the ink as much. Like if you were to use a paper towel, which is another option, to remove the ink, you're perfectly capable of it. You're perfectly welcome to do that, but then you lose that ink. By pushing it, it's still mostly on the ink pad. Yes, you get a little bit on your block, which you wipe off, but primarily it's still on the ink pad, meaning that you don't waste that ink. It's still there and it does flow back into the ink pad. Just so that you know. And now we're going to die cut these out. It's going to use that one. And this die because they coordinate. Oh, I've even got the bee. I didn't realize the bee got cut out. Oh, I did have a bee. I forgot. Oh, someone needed a bee at the retreat and I said I didn't have one. I just realized I did have a bee. Oh dear. That's okay. Hi Joan, how are you? I think things are running a little bit smoother this time. Thankfully, last week was not smooth. I was not happy. Now with the dies, there's a little hole there, which is hard to see when I'm, see, I'll just zoom in. You're not going to be able to fully see, but you do line up the end of your stamped image through that hole, and then the rest of your image the die hugs, and that will give you the perfect positioning. And I just use this tape. I got it from Officeworks. It's like post-it note tape. Just zoom back out. Bringing in the grid paper again, just because it is good to have. So I'm thinking just arrange this so, and then our sentiment will go somewhere here. Let's take a look. Much love in your new life together. Today is a day to remember. Sending hugs, let's celebrate. I want to use today is a day to remember, but I really love the double font. Let's go with sending hugs. Or let's celebrate, because that's the one I picked up. Actually, I think I should have done those in, both of those in the pink combo. So that's better. Just felt that it'll work better. There, really like that. Wonderful. And what we might do is pool party for the sentiment. Is that too much pool party? No. Oh, and let's use, so these were cut out, die cut using the dies. So this die here, and that's in soft sea foam. So you can add those, and I just didn't know when I'd use them, so I tucked them there. I love it. I tucked them into the case, the stamp case, for another time. So that saves us some die cutting, doesn't it? And, ooh, maybe we should use this one. So the dies do come with this lovely shape. Let's celebrate fit. It does, but I want to use a different sentiment label. So we've got some options. We've got the beautiful shapes dies. So we could use a rectangle, oh, not a rectangle, what am I called? Well, we could use this organic shape actually, which might go really nicely with the flow. Yes, bing bang boom. It's a lot easier just to make a decision than playing around. Okay, so what I might do is stamp this first, and I feel like heat embossing, but should we? I'm a little indecisive today, aren't I? Let's white heat emboss it. So I'm just going to rub my embossing buddy over that. Grab my tweezers. So that means for Smart ink, I've got my white embossing powder. I'm going to stamp, and then I tend to just dip it in. Perfect. Make sure everything is closed. And heat that up. There we go, that's now in focus. And you get to watch the magic. So at my recent retreat, there were a few ladies who'd never heated embossed. They have the products. They were gifted them, but they'd never tried it, never had the confidence. So just let me know in the comments, have you ever tried heat embossing? Because it's so much fun. I've got to say, like, when I first saw it, I thought, ugh, I don't need that. Like, who needs that? But it's so magical and special that I fell in love with it. So I want to hear from you. What did you think of heat embossing? Did you think it's something that you needed in your crafting repertoire? Or is it something that you are yet to explore, discover, perhaps? And what I really love about this die set is, can you see the embossed edge that came through? Isn't that just adorable? And I want that, actually it stands out quite good, but I just want to give it a little bit of a lift or a little bit of an oomph. So I'm going to take a blending brush and Pool Party ink, and you can use the blending brushes in multiple colors. So I've just grabbed one that I've got blue on, and I've just given it a wipe. Oh, it's still got color coming off. The other way you can do is take one of these, you know, one of those cloths. What are they called? Cleaning cloth, microfiber, that's the word I'm looking for. So just give your brush a clean on a microfiber cloth so that less ink transfers from the previous usage. And I'm just lightly going to blend over the sentiment. And I started a little bit on my grid paper so that I'm getting that excess ink off and not getting that big dollop of ink. And then I can just use a tissue and wipe off the excess off the heat emboss, because it's not going to adhere to that. and it just makes the sentiment stand out. Just that little bit of ink blending helps it pop. Love it. I love the organic shape. That is going to go up on dimensionals. And we are definitely going to add some ribbon. And what we might do is do like a faux bow of ribbon on the back. Just kind of seeing if I like the look before I commit. Yes, I love it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is on the back of my label, between where I've placed the dimensionals, I'm going to add some tear and tape. There. And do that faux bow thing again. So I'm just having the ends stick out, bringing over the bow loop, and then because this is quite a wide ribbon, I'm going to add another layer of tear and tape on top. Come on. There we go. And there, so you don't have to tie a bow. You can pretend you tied the bow and there's no knot in the back. Not that it matters because I've got the dimensionals, but if you were laying this flat without the dimensionals, you wouldn't want the knot from the bow there. So this is a great flat way of adding some ribbon. And I think I made that bow a little too big, so I can pick that up and move it there. And then, because I've still got it on the spool, I'm not wasting as much because I'm going to trim it exactly to where I need it. And yes, this end will be trimmed, but the only waste I have is from that little bit. That's the only bit I'm throwing out. Oh, where is it? There it is, tiny itty bit, which is awesome. And that's going to go right there. So let's adhere our bits. You can put those to the side and let's stick this big one down. Neighbour's up to something. Can you hear that? The hope the camera didn't pick that up. I suppose it doesn't matter if it does. This is work from home nature. So pretty. Now I'm going to take the dimensional backing off. There. These can go one there. Had one there. How cute is that? So I'm going to use mini glue dots. Oh, not those ones, these ones, for these. So that one was starting to get stuck down. Glue dot for this one. And I think we should add the trinket What do we think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've already got an odd number of things. Ooh, what if we add it right there? Yes, I think that finishes it off quite nicely. And it slits right under there beautifully too. So what I'll do is put, where the mini glue dots go? There they are. I'm going to put the mini glue dot right on that little end because it's going to go underneath anyway. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to lift that up, slot it in, and press down. Love it. So pretty. Do we need another? I think we need another. Since we're give it some balance. Thanks, Joan. So we've used all the bits from this suite in this card today, which is fantastic. Now, the project is not yet complete because no card is complete until you decorate the inside and the envelope, which I'm just grabbing. Now, for the inside, I need to cut because my pre-cut supplies are gone. I like the card insert to be 10 centimeters by 14.35, and I've actually got a little mark there. So you see this bit of my masking tape? That edge is right on 14.85 so that I don't have to think about it when I'm cutting cardstock, A4 cardstock in half, because A4 cardstock is 21 centimeters across and 27.9 in height. So that's where you get the 8.5 or 3.5 because I'm cutting it slightly smaller. So that's going to go there, and I'm going to add a strip of the designer series paper, about 2 centimeters. Let's go 2.5. Add that to the bottom there, and I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to take that big leaf again and stamp it on the edge here, and I'm going to stamp it on the envelope too, but I'm going to go underneath the envelope flap. So it's going to go about there, but lifting the envelope flap so that when it's closed, it's like it's peeking from underneath the envelope flap. And so that was, once again, Orchid Oasis, and I combined that with Fresh Freesia. Just going to see, do the test again. Yep, I'm still happy with that ink. I love this combo. And then we're going to add the strip designer series paper. Oh, that's not straight. And that's what I love about the green glue or the multi-purpose liquid glue, is that it gives you, before it sets, it gives you that time to move things around and position them correctly. the tape runners, which we have the Stampin' Seal and the Stampin' Seal Plus, have great bond, but once they're bonded, they're bonded. You can't wiggle and place that where you want. And you know what? I can't resist. I'm going to do a little bit of Wink of Stella splash. So putting things away a little bit. I've got a Wink of Stella brush here. I'm going to squeeze so that it's dripping and give it a splatter. Now you probably can't see anything. I feel like I'm getting a lot of splatter on my grid paper and not on my project, but when I lift this up, can you see all those little shiny splats? It's just giving it that little bit of extra oomph, I guess you could say. So there we have it. And the envelope. And the inside. Just gonna flip. I hope you enjoyed that. This is the Splendid Day Suite from the July to December mini catalogue. The catalogue is still available, so if you don't have a demonstrator and you are in Australia, I would love to send you a catalogue if that's something you are interested in. Paper crafting has been an amazing addition to my life, and I love being able to send cards in the mail to family and friends just to cheer them up or to celebrate a special moment. Since this card is a celebration card, I should add that little bit in. So yes, thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad that things went smoothly today, and I will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for another Creative Time inspiration. Actually, little twist next week. It's school holidays next week. So next week is Little Miss Picks. If you've never watched my videos before, Little Miss is my mini me. She's my 9-year-old daughter, and we go live together. The idea is that she picks one stamp set and one color. I don't know what she's picking until the moment we are live and she reveals the picks. And then I have to create whatever I can come up with in the moment with those products. So that's always a little bit of fun. We started that during COVID lockdowns because we wanted to just do something together, fun and creative. And it has been a real big hit. So come and join us for Little Miss Picks next week. Thanks so much. Bye for now.